Welcome back, Benchwarmer. The NBA trade deadline just passed, and wow.
One of the most active deadlines in years, even with stars being dealt.
The craziness started obviously with the Luka deal last weekend, but continued all throughout the week.
Now it is time to see who won and lost at the deadline. I'm Corey, still in shock.
I'm Brendan, waiting for my Luka jersey, and this is RV from the Bench. Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you see here, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it for us. Come on, it's free. It's free for you. It's free for us. Helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think.
Hell yeah.
Well, Corey, NBA basketball, obviously it is Saturday, the Saturday before Super Bowl. So this is kind of the sport we're going to be running with for the next few months. Obviously, as baseball gets closer too. But it's we're picking up in the middle of the season, but it's arguably some of the best time to be here. You know, football, 17 games, everyone counts. Basketball, 82 games, not as much counts. So Corey and I like to focus on the more active sport at the time. Now that football's basically over, moving into basketball. Corey, it's been a good, fun trade deadline. Besides the Luka, give me like one of your crazy, like, oh, that happened. I know we're going to go into depth with a lot, but just give me one.
Just a lot going on, to be honest. More teams making deals, I guess, I feel like, in a while on the deadline day. And I was able to actually sit down while I was at Great Park that day, but working while watching the actual deadline being counted down and the update and the coverage instead of having to just check my phone every 10 minutes or so. But just so much movement, I think, is the thing that shocks me the most. And not just, like we said, not just some small pieces here and there. This was, Jimmy Butler on the deadline day getting dealt. Like, that's a big one for the Warriors.
Yeah. No.
Just a lot of people moving and a lot of big pieces, I think, more so than I'm used to at this point.
Great point. Great point. So we're going to cover the NBA trade deadline. There's too much to talk about all of them. So we're going to play our game of Razor Fold to kind of go through it, though. Before we start, I want to give a shout out to Austin Reeves. Played this Saturday afternoon. Dropped 45, 7, and 7. It's his career high. He's actually the first player since 2005. The youngest player, since 2005 with 45 and 5 on the Lakers. You know who the last person was to do that, Corey?
Well, I'm going to guess Kobe Bryant since you're rocking that jersey today.
It was definitely Kobe Bryant. So, hey, if Austin Reeves is in the conversation of doing anything that Kobe Bryant has done, we got to give him a little bit of props. So I want to start with that.
Hillbilly Shout out Kobe, right? Hillbilly
Amen, brother. Amen. All right. So if you don't know the rules, we'll go through it quickly. There's a basic games of poker. You fold if you don't like your hand, you check if you want to see what's going on, and you raise it if you're down to play. Those are pretty much it. So, Corey, I'm going to start with you.
Let's do it.
We're going to start big because the Lakers swap Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic.
Now, the only reason I'm going to fold on this one is because we did our breaking news episode when this trade happened and reacted in the moment. So if you haven't already seen that, please go back and check out that episode. So we don't need to go over it anymore because we already spent 15 minutes on it, and I'm still shocked at this moment about it.
Agree. It was a great pickup, but if you want the details of our opinions, go there because we're just in shock when it happens. I don't even know what to say.
Again, I'm still in shock now, and watching some other videos of other podcasters or people doing shows and learning in the moment. I mean, O'Shea Jackson Jr. does a podcast about.
Oh, that was so good.
That video was great. Alan Slewa, he used to be on ESPN Radio. He's doing a post-game and thing, and he's like, I'm losing my mind. This isn't real. Like, just the people losing their minds like we did was great to see. But in the topic, as far as we go here, Razor Fold, I'm going to fold on it for now.
Okay. That solo one was pretty good. He's like, I'm going to assume that's fake. I'm going to assume that's fake. I'm just going to assume it's fake. That's funny. All right, Corey, what you got for me then?
All right. So for you, the first one I'm going to offer is Spurs get De'Aaron Fox. Do you raise, check?
Oh, easy raise. This is great.
I'm glad you did, sir. Because, so here's the deal. This is what it comes down to. It's a three-way deal with Spurs, Kings, and Bulls. Obviously, the Spurs winning this with a landslide. De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin going to San Antonio. Going to Sacramento, you got Zach LaVine, Sidy Cissoko. I think I said that right. First-round draft pick, and second-round draft pick as well. The Bulls getting Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and a first-round pick from San Antonio. So lots of picks going to the other places, but the main deal is San Antonio has somebody to pair with Wemby for the future.
I'm actually surprised that I'm gonna start on a not important team. I'm surprised that the Bulls were even able to secure a first round pick for Zach LaVine because of that giant contract. And I'm not saying that Zach LaVine isn't talented. That's not really a knock on Zach LaVine. I think Zach LaVine is very good at basketball. In fact, I was actually looking at a statistic last night with Laffy. For some reason, I don't even know. There's a website that has this. Actually, it's NBA.com. It has ISO statistics, how often you can ISO and your percentage at like what percentile you are good at it. You know who the best ISO man in the league for? Not including people who do it like 20, 30 times. I'm talking about like real ISO people. It's Zach LaVine. He's the most proficient ISO player in the NBA this year. Based on, well, again, with like a minimum of 150 attempts. Like there's some people that have done it 20 times and they succeeded 18. Well, that doesn't count. 20 out of 18, whatever. So I give him some props. But the question you asked me, De'Aaron Fox,
yeah,
and Wemby,
yeah,
it's gonna be scary. He's so quick, and Wemby's so tall. I don't know how you stop it. He looked great in the first game. Did you see it?
First 2 games they've looked great together. Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's I think a match made in heaven. Really, I think they're just going to be great. Unfortunately for us in the Western Conference, that's going to be a problem for a long time.
Not great.
But we'll deal with that when it comes in front of us.
I think the one great part, and this isn't a knock on De'Aaron's game, but I think it could be improved, and he'll need it to be improved if he's playing with Wemby, is his passing. But who's the other guard on that team right now?
Chris Paul.
What a better fucking person to learn from than dang near Chris Paul. I mean, besides like Magic Johnson and John Stockton, I mean, it's pretty much the one guy you'd want to learn from. So I think that's a sneaky little thing for De'Aaron there.
And San Antonio also has a Rookie of the Year candidate, Stephen Castleton. So they really got a good trio there now for the future moving forward.
Yeah, he looks really good. That team looks stacked. Kings, obviously, I don't know if they're building, they're just retooling, I guess.
Very strange situation up there. I don't really know what to expect.
I don't like it, but I understand they're in like a weird predicament. Do you think that they think they reached their obviously they do. They fired Mike Brown in the middle of the season.
Yeah,
what kind of dumbass question is that? Never mind.
Doug Christie's in there. Who knows if he'll get to keep the tag from interim next year to full-time head coach or not too. There's a lot of questions going into the offseason for Sacramento.
And then the Bulls, honestly, they're just trying to off everybody. So that I understand that. They got a first round pick out of at least they were able to get that. You know what I mean? Out of the trade. Yeah. So overall, pretty good trade. I think the Spurs obviously win it, but the Kings are the most confusing, and then the Bulls are in second place, I'd say, just because they were able to get rid of that salary and get a first rounder.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to the next one then. Bucks. Yes, Milwaukee. Trade Giannis. I'm just kidding. Imagine.
The Lakers. What?
Bruh. Don't put it past it. Don't put it past it. I'm just saying. No, Bucks swap Chris Middleton. Finally out of Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma.
Oh, check. I'm interested.
Okay. So, yeah, I kind of think so too, because the Bucks obviously being a contender in the East. They're out of the top 4, obviously, with the Cavs. At least the top 3, I'm sorry. With the Cavs, Celtics, and Knicks up there. But they're still looming. And with the best duo or highest scoring duo in the NBA in Kuz, sorry. I just saw his name. in Giannis and Dame, Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin, Jericho Sims, and a 25 second round pick are moving to the Bucks. I guess they're leaning all in on scoring because Kuzma doesn't play defense either. The Wizards, in turn, get Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, and a 28 pick swap. The Knicks are taking DeLon Wright and some cash for just being basically included in the deal. I feel like now that the aprons are introduced, every trade, dang near, has to be a 3-team trade.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on because if you're going to get more than you put out, it doesn't work. So you have to have a third team involved to match how much is going out. And it's kind of weird, but it will continue to be a thing as far as the aprons are involved.
Yeah, because like even the one with Luka and the Met, like just a random guard is gonna leave to go to the Utah. Like okay, well, just because So, but yeah, so that there was a pretty good switch. Any slight thoughts?
No, I don't know what Milwaukee's doing. Like you said, I guess leaning into the offense more than defense thing. Kuz, Dame, and Giannis is nice, but I don't really think that's gonna win you a title.
Nah, I agree. Agree more.
All right, so the next one I got for you, which we've been talking about the Kings a little bit here, I guess. So back to the Kings. Kings get Jonas Valanciunas.
Okay, I'm going to make a comment, but I think it would fold. See, this is what's confusing. Didn't you just get rid of a bunch of people? Now you're bringing more people back. This guy has a 3-year deal worth like $10 million a year. It's not like he's has an expiring contract. I don't know what the Kings are doing. And the Wizards are involved, so who cares? Fold.
Facts. I agree.
Okay. This one has to pique your interest, but let's just try the headline and see. This is dude who plays over in Florida. He might be good. Butler. Butler. He got traded to the Warriors. I don't know if that interests you at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise you on that because this.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This is a big.
So Jimmy freaking Butler Mr. Happy Coffee Company himself is leaving after this tumultuous, crazy time that he's had this past few months or month, let's just say, with the Heat. Finally got his way of getting out. He's on his way to Golden State. That's all the Warriors get out of this, but that honestly could be enough. This is a 4-team trade because, again, there's just so much that has to go on with it. The Heat are getting Andrew Wiggins, PJ Tucker, who was then traded again, Kyle Anderson, Mr. Slow-Mo himself, a 25 first-round pick that is top 10 protected. That's actually not a terrible haul for a player who was disgruntled and on an expiring contract.
True. But they did not only that, though. Well, go ahead and read the rest of the teams before
Pistons get Dennis Schroeder out of it because Dennis had to go somewhere. Lindy Waters, the third and a second-round pick. The Jazz love just taking random people's stuff. So Josh Richardson goes to the Jazz, who was later waived, and they get a second-round pick for taking that cap or that salary on. Sorry, that was the whole trade. So basically the Heat of it, Warriors get Butler, Heat get Wiggins, Tucker, and Anderson in the first-round pick.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm mad because Schroeder got then traded because I thought he was going to get bought out in Utah and then he could become a Laker, but that's not going to happen. So that kind of sucks.
I know. I was kind of down for that too. Not that we need any more guards, but still.
No, but still, he's a defensive guy. But overall, I think this is a good deal in the long run. And then Jimmy also, in part of the deal, signs a 2-year extension. So he's not going to be a free agent this summer after all with the opt-out. He's there for another 2 years. So you got Steph, Draymond, and him together. Their first game tonight so far at this point, I think they were at halftime earlier when I checked, and he had like 5 or I think he had 8 points, a couple rebounds, a couple assists, nothing crazy. So they're still.
He's not this high scorer though. So I mean, I'm not expecting him to come in and drop 30 a night. Yeah.
No, not at all. But just still trying to figure him out within the system. But I know I did read a stat that the Warriors run the most like cuts and back cuts and get the most layups, and I believe Jimmy has the best percentage in the paint as far as layups and off cuts. So it's going to be
he's really good
as far as the scheme and then fit. I think it's going to be fine. It's just going to take them some time to get the gel together, but it kind of works that they got the All-Star break now, so they can kind of work on things together during the break maybe, and then get on a
maybe.
run.
I know Steph's going to be over wherever it's at. So, but
yeah, well, it's in San Francisco
as much as possible.
Year, so.
Oh, well, then perfect. He's going to be at home. He'll be chilling. Yeah, never mind. Everything's fine. Yeah, I think this was pretty crazy. It definitely needed to be done. I don't think it changes the war. It changes the Warriors' future. It doesn't do anything for them now. I still think they need more pieces. They're not getting through the West with just those three. No. And that's not even a knock on Jimmy or Steph or even Draymond. It's a little bit of a knock on Draymond, but it's not really. It's just that doesn't – they aren't as dominant as they were before. So it's not the same crazy Steph Curry. It's not the bubble Jimmy Butler. It's not the same Draymond who is, putting triple doubles damn near every night or quadruple doubles sometimes. So it's not the same team, so it's a little bit less. The other thing that I get it because you just traded everything, so you had to do it. But $60+ million a year for Jimmy Butler in his 30s is damn. He might be getting paid just as much as Steph freaking Curry or more. And I don't know about that one. Luckily for them, it's only for 2 years, so it's not like they signed this gigantic thing with him. But that's probably the only question mark I have. But honestly, you need help for Steph, so you got to do what you got to do.
Yep, absolutely. You got to have something to take a chance here at the end with Steph. Otherwise, you're just wasting him away.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, on to the next one, sir. Brandon Ingram, to the 6.
I have to check this one, bro. That's the former Laker, baby. Come on. Where's Brandon Ingram going? I know you said Raptors. Yeah. I don't know what's going on over there, but what's the trade?
So going up to Toronto is Brandon Ingram, as we mentioned, and then going down to New Orleans will be Bruce Brown Jr., Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick from Indy, and a second-round pick. So, again, I don't know what Toronto's doing, though, because they have Scotty Barnes. They have Jakob Poeltl. They have like a team, but they're also like really low in the East, and there's no way they're going to make a playoff run. So I don't really know what they're doing over there, to be honest.
Agree. Hey, relax.
Sorry. Ingram to the 6. They're mad,
I know. Jack, it's fine.
I get it.
What's going on, Jack? Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Sorry for the interruption. Okay.
All good.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we can stop there. I love Brandon Ingram. I think he's a great basketball player, but I'm with you. I don't know what the Raptors are doing. It's crazy because, like, Bruce Brown, after winning the championship, it's just he got a paycheck, and then it's just been tossed around. Like, what happened? I thought this was the guy that was. I'm glad the Lakers didn't sign this motherfucker because this was the guy that was going to be the X factor for the championship team. This guy's getting floated around just because he makes enough money.
He went to Indy for 2 years. Well, he signed a 2-year deal in Indy, then he ends up getting traded to Toronto. Now he gets traded out of Toronto, and he ends up in New Orleans. And I don't know what New Orleans is doing either. They're just a mess. They've had so many injuries, so it's interesting to see what they kind of do moving forward as well.
Yeah, the biggest thing is Zion.
Yep. Of course, always.
Literally and figuratively. I don't mean that as a fat joke. I mean, like, he's a big guy.
No, it's a fact.
Yeah.
Facts.
Okay. All right. Okay. Lakers, finally, this is what we needed. Finally get their big man in Mark Williams. Just kidding, actually. Yeah. We learned we don't.
Yeah, I'm going to raise you on that only because this broke, about an hour and a half ago before we jumped on.
If that, yeah. Maybe an hour at the most. Yeah. I was just preparing, and I got a text message from a friend with a screenshot on. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Mark Williams, 23-year-old center from Charlotte. Well, he played at Duke, but, in Charlotte now. We traded away Dalton Connect. Didn't like to see it. Cam Reddish, completely indifferent. Wish him the best. A 2031 first-round pick, that's a little bit of a stretch, and a 2030 pick swap. You and I talked about this. I'll give my initial, and then I want you to kind of dive into it. I didn't like how much we gave up. Didn't have a problem with the person. Didn't have a problem with even the players. It was more the pick and pick swap. I would have been down for the 2 players and a pick swap. What do you think? Obviously, give me your thoughts of like what you thought initially, and then now obviously that it's been rescinded, what the Lakers got to do going forward.
Yeah, so initially I thought it was a win. I know me and you talked about it's a lot given up, but if you think about it, the way I was thinking is we should have given up a lot more as far as draft capital to get Luka. And so since we didn't, we gave up more to get the center to go with him. So in a sense, if you think it's kind of like the Paul George, Kawhi, you got both of them for the trade, not just
for all those picks. Yeah,
true. So for all those picks, that got us 2 players and got rid of some guys. That's the way I was kind of looking at it. Then looking at the numbers 16 and 9, I'm like, okay, he's a big man. He's got
it's like 9.8, so he's damn near like 10.
Yeah, it's basically
a double.
Yeah. So I was thinking, okay, that's good numbers. He's young, he's got some hops, and he can pick and roll with Luka. So obviously that'll make sense. But then you start looking at the numbers of how many games he's missed due to injury and stuff, which is why the trade has been rescinded by the Lakers because he failed his physical once he got into town, which everybody on Twitter and Instagram starts going, oh, that's why we didn't see pictures of him arriving on, to the practice facility. Like they were very aware going into this, I guess maybe that it could have been a possibility. So it sucks. But at the same time, you can't really blame Rob because they called the Lakers offering him. So if they're offering you and you can get this deal done and it ended up working out, it's a win-win. But
it's also last second, so it's not like he's got a ton of time to think about it or try to look into it. Right.
So I think because they have to do the physicals, well, if he gets here and he fails a physical, then worst case, we're in the same boat we were before. So now they're at the deadline is coming to pass. They have no center. But I think in a weird way, I'm with you too. I think Dalton Connect staying is kind of a blessing in disguise because that 3-point shooting is going to come in handy at some point. And just having another shooter now with Luka and LeBron, if Reeves needs a break, Dalton can sit in the corner and just find him open for 3. So I think in the weird way, Lakers still kind of win.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't help our case this season unless there's just some random great big man on the buyout market, which I don't foresee happening. But it doesn't help. But it does help, I think, in the very long term. We get to get that pick back for a. By the way, just to your point of the injury, let me add some context. He's played a total halfway through his 3rd season of 84 games.
Yep.
So he just completed 1 season through 2.5 seasons. He literally played 20 games in his first one or something like that, and 19 in his second, maybe his 30 and 19. He's basically been on the bench. So, like you said, maybe a blessing in disguise. I was excited for the big man in general. I did think it was too much, but now hopefully in the off season, dude, Miles Turner's a free agent.
Yeah, that's the first one I would go.
Like
after.
Now we don't have to give up anything, maybe. Like maybe
depending on where we are in the cap and things, but yeah, I would totally be down.
But as far as like picks, I mean, we have to give up players to your point. Yeah. But I mean picks. We don't have to give up picks to pick up free agents. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I would definitely be down for Miles Turner. That'd be great. But we'll see what they do moving forward in the summer. But for now, we gotta wait for the buyout market as far as the Lakers are concerned.
So yeah, so it's kind of like this weird. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. All right. Well, since we solve the Lakers center problems and then
you're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. Rob, hit us up. We'll help you out.
The next one I got here for you is the Suns move on from Nurkic.
Okay. I know we're probably not going to talk too much about this because we didn't plan to, but let's just comment on the fact that now the Hornets have 2 starting centers. Because the Suns did move on from Nurkic, but they moved him to Charlotte because Charlotte thought that they were
that's a very good point.
Yeah, so Charlotte.
If you look at it too, Cody Martin is then going back to Charlotte, which is another 3-point shooter. So thankfully, Connect is coming back to us, so they don't have to worry about that battle there. So just a lot of weird like sliding doors there as far as that.
But either way, I mean, Suns don't care about Hornets. I only even brought it up because we were involved with the Hornets. I'm folding.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
All right, this one I think maybe pique your interest, but let me know. Cleveland Cavaliers go grab DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, I'll check on that one. I'm not going to fold it, but I definitely want to know a little more.
I'm not going to lie to you, Corey. I think this is the sneakiest pickup of the trade deadline.
Okay.
Cavs get DeAndre Hunter, and they give up Caris LeVert, Georges Niang, a first-round pick swap in 26 and 28, and 3 second-round picks. Now,
that's not bad.
The Cavs are already really good. There's one team that's in the East that is probably challenging them for supremacy. Who would you say that probably is?
The defending champion Boston Celtics, as much as I hate saying those words.
Yes, it is them. And what do the Celtics have on their team? What a lot of type of players they have on their team?
They have a lot of big 3-and-D guys or guys that can score that are long.
Yep. Wing players, yes. So DeAndre Hunter, 6'8", 225, but moves like he's like 6'4", shooting almost 40% from 3 this season, is moving over to a team that doesn't need help. I think Caris LeVert is a good player. Georges Niang is an average player, but getting a solid, maybe 6th man. I don't think he fits into the starting rotation, but the 6th man, this is a big one, bro. And the Hawks, bro, I mean, they're not doing shit, dude. DeAndre Hunter got drafted there. He's been sitting there for a couple years. I'm glad to see him moving on to a team that's actually doing something. This, to me, I get there's a lot of huge names, but besides the huge moves, this one is the biggest one to me. I think this is really good.
I can't really argue with your points there. DeAndre Hunter is going to be a huge thing when it comes to playoff time because, like you said, I think it's going to be Cavs and Celtics in the conference finals. They just seem the best 2 teams in the conference have all year. And, Cleveland had their learning last year with being in the playoffs and not being able to beat Boston because they weren't healthy, but still had the experience of being there. So I think this year, this is them going and telling them, hey, we believe in you guys. We're giving you a little extra piece here to go make that extra run that we couldn't finish last year. So Cleveland's got a shot, but I think you might be right. That might be the sneaky move of the deadline.
Just saying. He has a player efficiency rating that is somewhat close to some of their stars. Evan Mobley, 22.5, Donovan Mitchell, 21.1, Darius Garland, 21.9, and DeAndre Hunter's 15.8. Like, he's almost 16 player efficiency rating. He's getting close to some of the all-stars that are on the Cavs. So I think this is just a super sneaky pickup for them. Just kind of, with all the Luka hoopla, it really flew under the table.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to forget about Luka right now.
So I like this one. I actually think this is pretty big for Cleveland. Let's get these fucking Boston pricks out of here.
Yeah, agreed with you on that one. All right. I got another one here for you. Clippers get Bojan Bogdanovic.
Did you say Clippers?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, fold.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I know. Okay, before we do, though, because since you folded, I did hear somebody, I have to give credit. I don't know the guy's name that called in on the radio station the other day on ESPN 710, but he did call in and said the trade deadline was just like every other trade deadline, or it has always been. Lakers trading stars for stars, Clippers trading backups for backups. And I just thought that was a great saying, so I wanted to make sure I shared that.
Agreed. You know what? Since we're adding to that, remember that picture I sent you of my friend? She's a Clippers fan. There was a Clippers fan that had posted something on Twitter. It says, Lakers, we got AD, Mavs, or Lakers, we got Luka, Mavs, we got AD, Spurs, we got Fox, Kings, we got Levine, Clippers, we got a sale on T-shirts. That's typical Clippers for you.
Sad. They're in the new building with a new logo. They're already discounting shirts. Oh, yikes. That's not good.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. This is the last one we've got for the episode. Grizzlies move Marcus Smart in a 3-team deal.
Huh. Okay, I'll check you on that one.
Yeah, because the Grizzlies are in freaking second place right now in the West. So getting rid of people is not necessarily what they might need, but they're adding people they think they need. Marvin Bagley III, I don't necessarily think that's a big pickup. Yeah. Johnny Davis and a 28 second-round pick is what they get. They're moving Marcus Smart to the Wizards with Colby Jones, Alex Len, and a 25 first-round pick. Huh. The Kings are in the mix to take on Jake LaRavia.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've heard some good things about LaRavia in Memphis. So actually, for the Kings, that's a nice little pickup. But for the Grizzlies, I don't see the Bagley thing at all. I don't get that. And if you're the Wizards, you have Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart now. What are we doing in Washington? Are you just trying to get guys to buy him out and completely tear this down? I don't understand what's going on.
They got a 25 first-round pick.
Yeah, that part I get, but
That's I'm just trying to sell it to you. I don't know.
The roster they currently have right now that they've gotten rid of Kuzma, and now I don't know what they're doing over there.
Well, Jordan Poole put up 45 the other night.
Well, that's great, but he takes 38.
They lost.
Yeah,
they lost.
He shoots it 40 times, so yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so I just don't know. I mean, I'm all for the Grizzlies getting weaker. Marcus Smart has looked pretty pedestrian since he left Boston. I don't know why that is. Is he just not as involved maybe as he was in Boston? Because, sometimes he was the point guard, even though obviously we know it should be in, well, this is before they had Drew Holiday, but it should be in Tatum or Brown's hands most of the time. But yeah, I don't know. All in all, I think winners at the deadline are obviously the Lakers. I think the Cavs.
Yep.
And I'm going to I'll say the Warriors just because they finally got a big name, even though I don't think it's the big one. Who do you think lost the deadline? Give me one or two.
Lost the deadline. I don't know if anybody really. I guess the Suns, just because they didn't solve any of their issues or get rid of Beal and bring in Butler or any of that, and they're just kind of stuck with what they got. All they did was get rid of their big man Nurkic, who they already benched.
And wasn't that expensive anyways? Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's the only loss, but I don't really think it's much of one. I think they already were in a lost season before the trade deadline. So
there's this team in Dallas that gave up a superstar for almost nothing. I don't know if you think that's...
They got AD. Come on.
Yeah, he got hurt. Anyways. Well, that's pretty much it for the NBA trade deadline. We're moving into NBA All-Star Weekend, so it's getting down to the second half of the season. That's where all the important stuff's really going on. So be looking forward to us kind of, getting more involved in the NBA season now that the Super Bowl is tomorrow. Probably have one more little Super Bowl wrap-up show if we want to.
Yes, we will.
But we're moving into basketball, so this is the first of it. Ready for this Lakers season? Corey, you excited for Luka?
I've been ready for this Lakers season since October when it started. I know you just found out it's playing with Luka here, but
I thought that we started in January, February.
They've been playing really well as of today. They've won, I think, 11 of 13, 5 in a row. They're figuring things out even with no big man, so we'll see what they do in the buyout. But I'm feeling good going into the All-Star break, and LeBron's healthy still, and let's see what can happen in the second half here.
Exactly. Let us know in the comments below. Who do you guys think won the deadline? I mean, is it even a question?
And now, what do the Lakers do that they have no big man that they thought they solved that problem or issue? Let us know on Twitter, Instagram at RViewFTB, or right here on YouTube at the bottom with a comment. Let us know, guys. And how are you looking forward to this new All-Star game format? I don't really care. We don't care, right?
I'm not watching, to be honest with you. Not watching. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you as always for seeing these from RV from the bench. I'm Brendan.
I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace. Luka!
This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.